All right, we were back with another pick'em video, and how about yesterday? It was a pretty awesome day. We talked about a ton of different plays, and there was a lot of winners in that thing. In terms of like the actual plays we had Shohei Ohtani, we had Freddie Freeman. We thought about stacking them against Flexen. How about both of them hitting a home run? Then we talked about Altuve and Dubon. Altuve came through for us. Dubon 0 for 4 on the night. That kind of sucked. Kind of reminded me of Jarren Duran, who we went to in the Red Sox a little bit later in the day. He stunk up a parlay of ours. But we talked about Guerrero Jr. He had 4 RBIs, which is crazy. I think he had like 2 hits or something. He killed it. We talked about Mitch Keller's strikeouts. He went over his strikeouts. Skubal just hooked on his strikeouts, went over by 1 in like 7 innings, so of course he went that long. We talked about McMahon getting a hit run and RBI. He had 1 hit, so he got there. Just a ton of different winners, and that's how, again, I think we're going to do it again today. Talk about some hitters that have either good matchups, really good matchups, hit one side of the ball really, really well, whether it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher, or they have great history against them, or if everything is correlating together, those are the guys we really want to attack. And then if there's any good pitching matchups like we talked about yesterday, we talked about Mitch Keller. He got there for us, and then we talked about Skubal. Again, he hooked for us. But if there's any good pitcher matchups that have good strikeouts, maybe they give up a lot of hits allowed, we'll be pointing that out as well and try to come up with some stacking opportunities like we did yesterday. If Dubon hit for us, the pitcher they were going up against went under. Flexen went under his fantasy score or his hits line or whatever it might be. But yeah, it was an awesome day. A lot of winners in that thing. So hopefully you guys made the best of that, and we're gonna just try to do that same format again today. And again, trying to get this video out much earlier because the game started earlier today. So if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. We're back on the normal grind after the NBA Finals. We took a little bit of time off, a few days there. But yeah, back to the grind. And baseball is a little bit more volatile, but it's still fun to bet on. There's a ton of games each day, and with stacking and correlation and finding hitters that are hot, finding pitchers that are killing it or not killing it is a good way to do it. So that's what we're going to do, and let's just jump right into it. All right, so jumping into the page here, going to be on an app called Outlier. If you're interested in any of the apps, any of the platforms I'm using to bet, any of the tools, they're all in the description of this video. You're going to get a perk for using my code when signing up, so it's also a great way to support the channel. Check out the links in my description for any of these things, and free Outlier for a week if you want to check them out. But you see Jarren Duran up on the board. I'm going to be focusing on later slate of games. This one's at 7:10 p.m. Eastern time. I just think that's better for the video so more people can take advantage of it. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be taking advantage of good value from the early slate of games. I just want more people to take advantage of the the stats and stuff that I'm giving out in this video. And if you're seeing this video after those first slate of games start, you won't get much from the video. So going to be focusing on the later ones. And we got Jarren Duran pulled up here. Red Sox going up against a weak right-handed pitcher in Yariel Rodriguez. Doesn't have a ton of innings under his belt so far this year, 16.2, but the numbers are horrible. 5.94 ERA. 1.92 whip. Again, not a ton of history this year, but has been having a poor performance. And he's going up against a Red Sox team that's been pretty hot offensively, especially some of the guys I'm going to be mentioning right now. So Jarren Duran has been pretty on fire lately. You see, got his hits, runs, and RBIs line pulled up. I think I'm going to be favoring his fantasy score if you're on PrizePicks. But the hits, runs, and RBIs line is plus money at plus 100. And he's been on fire lately. You see a lot of green lately. You see the 6 or 5 straight games. And then a stinker yesterday, of course, when we went to him in the Discord. We stacked him and Devers in the game yesterday. Devers did his thing, home run his first at bat, I'm pretty sure. But Duran couldn't even get a hit for us, which kind of sold 2 of our slips, Chalkboard slip and a PrizePicks slip for us. But unfortunate there. But he's in a bounce back spot, and he has been pretty hot going up against right-handed pitching, which he does hit a little bit better. When you consider right-handed pitching for the year, 42%, and then you consider the fact that this is at Fenway Park, this jumps up to a 48% hit rate. So looking a lot better for a guy that especially has been on fire lately, hitting over 400 the past 2 weeks, 407, I believe, to be exact. Couple of home runs, like 15 or 16 hits or something crazy like that. So he's been really good, and he leads off, so he should get a ton of opportunity. You see the jump in his average as well. Not a crazy jump, but 288 goes to 297 versus right-handed pitching. Just a lot of stuff going good for him going up against a weaker pitcher here. So definitely don't mind Jarren Duran solo if you want to take him as a flat bet or a straight bet. But I also don't mind stacking him with someone like Rafael Devers, which we did yesterday. He hit a home run yesterday. He's been, pretty solid offensively. I think he's batting like 320 over the past 2 weeks, but he's got a slugging percentage up over 600. Both these guys actually do. So stacking them, correlates pretty well. If one of these guys is on base, let's say, Duran gets a single or a double to start things off, and then Devers comes in and hits him in for an RBI. It's a good for both sides. It correlates really well And again, weak pitcher here. So love to see that. We see the 2024 stats in general for Devers. Again, we're looking at his hits, runs, and RBIs line. I'd probably be looking at his, what did I have pulled up here? Just his fantasy score might be the way that I stack this. This is probably going to be the ultimate stack that I give you guys, but Duran, Devers, both their fantasy scores, and then maybe sneaking in Tyler O'Neill if you want to go to his hits, runs, and RBIs, because he's got a pretty good track record of getting this. And, if these guys are hitting well, more ducks on the pond for Tyler O'Neill to give a nice 2-run bomb, 3-run bomb, because he's a big home run hitter guy. So, I really like the Sox here. The main thing I want to show you for Devers, though, is, not a great hit rate in terms of the whole year. When you look at his fantasy score, 43%. But I do like the head-to-head specifically. Yes, I know there's different pitchers every time, but this was probably one of their weaker ones. And he's been getting this, each and every game against the Blue Jays throughout the season. 4 of the 5 games he's gone over this pretty easily. And that just shows that, even so, whatever starting pitcher it might be, maybe he's doing well against the bullpen and things like that. So Devers and Duran, probably my first, better 2 guys. But if you want to throw, Tyler O'Neill in here, he doesn't hit right-handed pitching as well as left-handed pitching, but it's kind of funny when you go to his right-handed pitching stats, it actually shows up that he hits this a little bit better in terms of a hit rate, 58% hit rate. And when you really focus on that, it makes a little bit more sense because the guys in front of them are hitting right-handed pitching better. Devers is hitting pitching better, right-handed pitching better. Duran's hitting pitching, right-handed pitching better. Yoshida is hitting right-handed pitching better. When there's more guys, if Tyler O'Neill's on base and they hit him in, that's good for him. If there's, ducks in the pond for Tyler O'Neill, that makes sense as well. So that's why you're seeing that uptick. Even though Tyler O'Neill doesn't hit right-handed pitching as well as left-handed pitching, we still get some good stats here. So definitely do not mind a 3-man stack for the Red Sox against this weak pitcher. If you want to go to Yariel in here, he doesn't have a ton of stats. Looks like a few more popping up, but there's nothing we can take on the under here. But if he gets a fantasy score, throw that into make a nice 4-man, and really nice correlated stack for the Sox going up against a weak pitcher. All right, so moving along to another game here. Not going to spend too much time on it just because it is a 2:10 start, one of the earlier games. Not the earliest, but one of the earlier ones. And this one's kind of too good to pass up here. Alex Bregman and really just the Houston Astros in general, going up against Ryan Feltner. You see the numbers here. 1-6 record, so he hasn't been winning games. An ERA of 6.03, 1.48 whip, horrible numbers. And here's the kicker, 80 innings pitched. It's not like he's pitched, 1 bad game or 2 bad games. No, he's got a lot of innings under his belt. He just doesn't pitch very well. So this Astros team could be in for a pretty good day offensively. And you see Bregman, his 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs line. Yes, it's a little bit juiced on the over, but it'll be an 85% hit rate over the last 20 games. He's been on fire recently. So if you want to, stack up Bregman, maybe go to him individually, whatever you want to do, I think he's a pretty good start here. He also hits right-handed pitching a little bit better. And I wanted to point out a few other guys that are also hitting really well. Specifically, where is he? Diaz has been also hitting pretty well. He also hits right-handed pitching a little bit better than his normal average. So if you wanted to stack Diaz in here, I'm pretty sure he bats 4th for this team. Altuve doesn't, bat well against right-handed pitching, or bats a little bit worse than his normal average, but he still bats 287. That's the only reason it's showing up as red, is because he normally bats 301. So still another guy that's been on fire lately. So I don't mind going to Altuve, a guy we went to yesterday, and he got a home run for us. So Altuve and Diaz are the guys that are the bats that have been really hot lately, along with Bregman. And then on the other side of things, you see the red showing up here for Feltner against right-handed bats. There's a lot of right-handed bats in this Astros lineup, and he pitches a little bit better against right-handed batters, but not too much better. His normal 296 batting average against and his 6.02 ERA drops a little bit, 4.24 ERA and a 0.268 batting average. So again, still a poor pitcher versus right-handed bats. But if you want to attack a lefty, Yordan Alvarez is your guy. He doesn't hit lefties as well as he hits righties. 288 average down to a 265, and he also hasn't been on fire. He's been very middle of the road lately. But it is good to note that Feltner gets crushed by left-handed bats. So if you want to put Alvarez in there, even though he's not a guy that's on fire, that could be an interesting thing. I guess I should show that on the screen if that was confusing for anyone. So here's Alvarez, hasn't been amazing. Here's his 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs line. Pretty 50-50. Just recently just hasn't been hitting the ball extremely well, and you get the bad average or the worst average versus right-handed pitching. Nothing too crazy drastic here, but you see a horrible pitching outing for Feltner against left-handed bats. 7.81 ERA, 886 batters faced, a 322 batting average against. Yeah, I'm talking myself into Alvarez as I'm kind of looking at him here. So again, a lot of a stacking opportunity for these Astros. Didn't want to spend too much time on it, but wanted to point you out just because, you know, the pitcher they're going up against is just horrible. Then moving along here, not a great stacking opportunity for the Orioles, but Gunnar Henderson wanted to point out he's got a great matchup here. He's a left-handed batter going up against Carrasco, who's got a pretty high ERA, 5.4, bunch of innings under his belt, 65, a 1.38 whip, and against righties, he's been able to go over this total bases line pretty consistently. You see 54% of the time he's going over this throughout the whole season, but against right-handed pitchers, 63% of the time he's going over this, including, you know, very, very good recently against righties. I don't even know, 4, 8, 10 out of the last 12 games he's gone over this. So really like Gunnar. He also hits, you know, I think top of the lineup or very early in the lineup. I think first in the lineup. So he's going to have plenty of opportunities. You see plenty of these games. He's getting 5, sometimes even 6 at-bats recently because the Orioles have been hot. And then you see the average goes up against right-handed pitching. And he's also a left-handed bat, which Carrasco does not handle well. His ERA actually jumps up to a 6.03. His batting average against goes to a 280. So yeah, really good spot here for Gunnar Henderson. You see the last 20 games, 70% hit rate going up over this total bases line. And that's just a normal play over on PrizePicks right now. So don't mind Gunnar. If you really want to stack someone, it'd probably be Ryan O'Hearn for me, just because he's another left-handed bat who's been pretty good lately. He's got a hits, runs, and RBIs line. It's going to be juiced on the over. But again, against Carrasco, he hits righties a little bit better. The hit rate's looking pretty good, and he's a left-handed batter, which is pretty solid in terms of ERA. ERA and batting average against up over 6 ERAs is crazy, in 141 batters faced. So a guy that's been hot, Ryan O'Hearn, you could definitely stack that if you want to, but Gunnar's probably my go-to guy here for total bases line over on PrizePicks. But again, O'Hearn should be here for his, hits, runs, and RBIs or something, probably a goblin play. If I can find him here, Ryan O'Hearn. He's got a total bases play. I don't love that as much. I would probably be looking more towards his hits, runs, and RBIs line, which I don't see. Maybe it's here, but yeah, you get the point. Orioles players going up against a weak pitcher. Again, Gunnar's my go-to guy on this one. Then actually staying in this same game, we can look at Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan, who have been on fire. You see the hit rates right here. Ton of green, especially recently, especially for Kwan. He's been like one of my favorite guys all year because he's batting like 400 for the year. The only thing is they're both left-handed batters. I guess Ramirez is a switch hitter here, but Rodriguez is the pitcher they're going up against, Grayson Rodriguez. He pitches a little bit better, a lot better actually to left-handed bats. So wanted to point these guys out just because they're great ways to stack. Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez have kind of been a wagon for us. But again, just keep in mind Rodriguez does pitch better against left-handed bats, but wanted to throw that one out there. Then a couple other guys I want to talk about real quick. Brian Reynolds, he's got an early start, 1:10 p.m., but he's been on fire, hits, runs, and RBIs. He has a pretty good history against this Cincinnati team, too. I mean, what is this? 8 of the last 9 games he's gone over. He's also going up against a weaker pitcher, Ashcraft. ERA jumps to 5.52 against left-handed batters, 292 in terms of batting average against for righties, and he's just been on fire. Brian Reynolds, home runs, doubles, whatever you want to need, and he's been able to do that. And then Shohei Ohtani, another guy who's just been on an absolute tear. Can't have a video without mentioning him. If you want to go to his RBIs at plus 102, that's definitely not a bad thing. Going up against Fede and all green here. So Fede's against left-handed batters, all goes up 320 or ERA of 3.23, batting average against 238 as opposed to a normal 233. So everything kind of going up for Fede and up for Ohtani here. So good matchup for him. You could run him out a few different ways, but he's just been on an absolute tear. And then I wanted to touch on some of the pitchers here. Nothing too great for us, but Ryan Feltner, we talked about him earlier, going up against Houston. We talked about Bregman, Altuve, Diaz for them, maybe even Alvarez. A couple guys against him, but if there's going to be big bats for the Astros, might as well go to the earned runs line for Feltner. Could be a stacking opportunity if you want to run it out as a goblin, or just a straight bet if you want to put it at a parlay, maybe with Houston winning the game. I wouldn't mind that at all. You see the hit right here, 67% of games he's gone over this line. A couple, of these duds. One of this was against Oakland, who's one of the worst, hitting teams in the league, but a couple, games, 5 earned runs, 8 earned runs, 6 earned runs in his last start against the Dodgers. So like Feltner in that spot. Then wanted to point out Cutter Crawford doesn't get under 4.5 strikeouts very often. It's about 145, so not too juiced, but a little bit juiced on the over here. He's going up against a tougher Toronto team. We talked about a couple guys yesterday from Toronto, but they don't strike out too much, especially the last 30 days. But at the same time, Cutter Crawford doesn't go under this line very often, and when he does in the entire year, he's only done it twice, and in those games he got 4. So kind of a guy with a longer leash, and probably going to get 5Ks here. Did face them last year and had 5Ks against them there, so something you want to look at. And then kind of a weirder one, Hayden Wesneski, kind of more of a bullpen guy, but has 3 starts on the year and has gone over this line in all 3 starts. Looking like he's going to start today against San Francisco. Not a team that strikes out a ton, but very middle of the road. And again, in his 3 starts, he's gotten 3 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, and then 3 strikeouts. And that was against San Diego, who doesn't strike out all too often. So 3 pitcher props that you could mess around with. This Hayden when Wesneski one is at 2.5. That one's available on PrizePicks if you want to look at that. But yeah, I wanted to point out some pitchers in this one. All right, so that's going to do it for this one. We talked about a ton of different stacking opportunities, a bunch of bats that have been red hot, a couple pitchers here at the end here, but just wanted to show it for the people that are always wanting the plays at the end of the video. Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 total bases. That's a normal line. Brian Reynolds, this one's probably one of my favorite plays of the day. It's this game starting soon though, but we'll get it out to the Discord people, so sorry if you missed that one. Wesneski looks pretty good, or Wesneski, looks pretty good for the 3 starts he has going up against a middle of the road team and striking out. I'll take my chances on that one. And then Jaron Duran, a guy that we went to yesterday in the Discord who let us down, but good bounce back opportunity. Running back your losses is sometimes always a good thing. But again, we talked about a ton more plays, a ton of different stacking opportunities, against Feltner for the Astros, things like that. So definitely, watch the whole video if you just skip to the end to be able to see all those stacking opportunities. Yeah, it's going to do it for this one. Also, want to remind everyone, we have a giveaway going on until July 4th. It's going to be a $250 giveaway, potentially more if more people, partake in this. But essentially, you just got to use the link in the description down below. You can check out all of my codes for my affiliate links and just sign up for one of those. Then DM me in the Discord. You're going to get a free month of the Discord. You're going to get an entry into that giveaway, so you can get multiple entries in the giveaway if you use multiple codes, and then you're going to have a chance at $250. So kind of like a win-win-win, and going to be like a 4th of July celebration. I'll probably do like a live stream or something in the Discord to kind of do the wheel to decide who's going to win it, and I'll probably announce it in the July 5th video for that. So yeah, if you're not in the Discord, also check us out. Links in the description. Again, plenty of ways to get in here for free, especially take advantage of the giveaway that's happening. You can get into the Discord for a free month and get a chance at that $250 on the giveaway. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more baseball. Again, we focused on the later slate of baseball games today because this video is coming out, 30 minutes before or something. Some of these games start, the early slate games, but hope you take advantage of it and let's try to win some money. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.